Big it up, big it up. Yep. Hear my voice. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Casual Wrestling Community Show. I am your host, the Notorious Nerdy D, and I am joined tonight by the co-host of this show, Level Up, Lauren.
What's up, y'all?
Tonight, I'm about to break down pro wrestling for all of the casual fans. So whether you are listening on podcast networks or watching on YouTube, make sure to like and leave us a comment on this week's episode. We have another great show planned for you guys tonight. But before that, this episode's coming to you 2 days late because we're trying to refigure out our schedule. This is football season. We own a business that is very prominent in football. And so during football season, we've had to adjust our schedule. So trying to figure out the best time to record this podcast will be a feat in the next couple of weeks. I think more than likely the episodes usually dropped on Thursday mornings. It's looking like they're going to drop on Thursday nights. That's going to be where we're going to settle in. That's best for our schedule, is to be able to drop them, is to record them Thursday morning and drop them Thursday nights. That looks like this week we weren't able to do it, but I think we'll be able to settle on that. So you'll consistently get this show on Thursday night. That's when this show, it'll actually give me the ability to watch AEW and speak a little more openly on that as well. So I like that. We were recording late Wednesday nights, like after midnight, and then trying to work through the night to get the episode out Thursday morning. We'll just push that to Thursday morning and get the episode up by Thursday night. So that'll be the new schedule. What I want to touch on from last week was there's been a lot of pushback in the CM Punk conversation that I had, where I've been a defender of CM Punk, so that's not really the issue. But the issue was last week I brought up this idea that CM Punk was never number one in WWE, and the pushback from the IWC has been there's this Summer of Punk thing that existed, and I the problem is the illusion of Summer of Punk. Having a 2 or 3 month run where you were the top guy and you main evented a couple pay-per-views does not make you the top guy. You were a flash in the pan. If you can't get a 1 year run put together, you're not the guy. And that's what I'm referencing when I talk about CM Punk was never the guy. He was never number one in WWE because the minute The Rock came back, The Rock became the guy. And the whole time that CM Punk was in this, quote unquote Summer of Punk, or the hot 2011 and 2012 that everybody speaks of, John Cena was either equal or better than CM Punk that entire time.
Yeah.
There was never a time that CM Punk just ascended past. You could make the argument at some points in time that CM Punk and Cena were both carrying the company, but during that run that everybody's talking about, Cena still main evented half of the pay-per-views. There was one pay-per-view with like Alberto Del Rio and John Cena or something like that. Or then there was the one with Cena and The Rock tag teaming against The Miz and R-Truth. So within all that time, it was still kind of jumbled up, and like CM Punk was never clear-cut number one, put the company on his shoulders. That's what I'm referencing when I talk about that. Yeah. I'm not saying that for a couple of months he sold the most t-shirts, but that's unfair because all of a sudden you have a guy show up who up until this point hasn't just blown out the merchandise, and he's a flash in the pan and everybody runs out and buys that new t-shirt. That doesn't make you the guy. That means you had a hot selling item. Cena has consistently. So if 5 million people already have John Cena shirts, more likely than not, they're not going to buy the next John Cena shirt.
Yeah.
He's oversaturated the market with Cena merchandise, whereas CM Punk was on his apex, reaching the top. Cena was already there, and you're not going to get that big splash in merchandise. So when I talk about that, that's what I'm talking about. And I don't even think it's disputable. Like, I've seen people try to say that CM Punk was better than The Rock. At no point in time.
Oh my God, no.
In CM Punk's career ever has CM Punk been more over than The Rock. That's The Rock during Attitude Era, and that's The Rock even when he comes back for these one-off things. CM Punk is not more over with the mass audience. With IWC, sure. That's the point I'm making is the internet loves CM Punk, or did. They've turned on him, but they did love CM Punk. But everybody loves The Rock, and everybody loves John Cena.
If you don't even know what wrestling is, you know who The Rock is.
And John Cena.
Yeah.
I mean, those two guys, they've transcended. They're more over with the general audience.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this week's top story. So the top story this week should come as no surprise to anybody because everywhere you turn right now in wrestling on the internet, somebody's talking about the fucking White Rabbit and talk about just marketing genius.
Yes.
You talk about just taking the wrestling internet by storm. Triple H fucking gets this. Like, look, can we now just all talk? Triple H gets this more than Tony Khan did, more than Vince McMahon. For 2022, Triple H understands how wrestling should run with the teases, with the way he's running matches, the timing of the shows. Everything's good. So this White Rabbit exists, right? So during well, let's break it down. Let's break down the facts of what we know so far for anybody who's lived under a rock, who maybe listens to this show, who says, I'm so casual that I didn't catch the White Rabbit references. Let's break that down to make sure that everybody is kind of on the same page. So a couple weeks ago, Lauren,
Yeah.
WWE started playing this song at live events. Just randomly, nobody knew what was happening. They just played the song, the lights kind of turned red, and then they shut it down, and there was no explanation. And that song is White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane.
I had to look it up because I didn't know what it was. And then once I heard it, I was like, oh shit, I know what this song is.
Okay, so you know the song.
Yes.
I don't know the song. I'm not familiar with the song, but I've listened to the song after this. Then this past week on Monday Night Raw, we got a QR code that just appeared behind Austin Theory. It was just kind of back in the background, which is what Triple H has been doing, right? It's like a fucking looking fine now when you watch, which is fun. This is the shit, right? He's on another level right now of Raw is interactive.
Well, yeah, you have to pay attention.
It's an
to the
interactive
cutscenes
show.
now.
You have to look around, and I almost find myself not skipping commercials because I don't know what's happening in that in between time so that I don't miss it.
That's actually very true.
So we get this QR code, and on the QR code it says "Come with me." Okay, so if you scan that QR code, it takes you to a game of Hangman on a random website, and the prompt for the Hangman says, "Who killed the world?" And you can go through, play the game, but eventually, spoiler alert, if you haven't played the game and you want to play it, fast forward about 20 seconds right now. The answer, you did. You killed the world, okay? And then after it kind of goes through a little rigmarole, it ends up with this number sequence of 923. Now, we don't know if that's a date. We're all assuming that's today. Today is 923. I'm recording this on 923. And so we don't know if that's a date, if that's a time. Is it 923 at 923, which would appear tonight during SmackDown?
True.
That's so we, here we go. Recording this day of, we'll know tomorrow, but I'm putting this out there right now. We don't know what that means. So then another thing people are alluding to is somebody has combed over, because now you've got the fucking Triple H has the internet going crazy. The conspiracists going crazy. They are looking through everything. And apparently Bray Wyatt has done this before. Apparently a couple years ago, Bray Wyatt ran a series of promos where one sentence did not belong in. He would just insert it in. And if you took all 8 of those sentences, they created a promo upon themselves. And
That's
nobody
crazy.
ever caught it. And he eventually came out and said, you guys missed this. I was doing this and there was a whole thing I was building toward and nobody got it.
Yeah.
So there's a history of him doing this, but someone combed through the Extreme Rules poster,
Okay.
and in the fucking background, like behind layers, you're learning Photoshop.
I am.
Layer behind layer behind layer behind layer. There's a lantern with fireflies around.
Oh, fuck.
This is embedded into the poster. Now, why the fuck is that there?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with Extreme Rules, but it's another level of like mind fuckery.
Well, my question is like who thought like, I should go through the poster and go through all the layers. Like, but this is the stuff
This
that
is the
Triple H
level.
is creating.
And if
where
it's
people
Triple
are
H, I'm not.
interested, or whoever.
I haven't got. I'm gonna put in my 2
WWE
cents
right
in a
now.
minute. I'm gonna put in my 2 cents on what I make of all this stuff. I'm not gonna jump to conclusion. Everybody wants to say Bray Wyatt. I'm not jumping to that conclusion right this minute. But this is absolute fantastic marketing. Because look at where we're opening the podcast. Look what I want to talk about. This is all that's been on my fucking mind for the last 2 days is who's the clue? What's the clue? You go everywhere and
I woke you up as soon as I saw it.
man, and somebody has a theory about this everywhere you go, and none of them are the fucking same. There are so many. I've seen wild ass theories as far as, I don't know if you remember Adam Rose and the Rosebuds. They came out and fucking danced and partied, and there was a guy in a White Rabbit costume.
That's not the party guy, right? that had like the big ol'.
Not No Way Jose.
No, I know it's not him.
But there was the Rosebuds and Adam Rose, and he had a White Rabbit. So there's people all the way out on that side going, it could be the White Rabbit from the Rosebuds entourage. Fucking, I don't think so, but who knows at this point?
Yeah.
There's people saying when Karrion Kross was in Lucha Underground, which was a separate wrestling promotion, that he had a character, the White Rabbit. So there's people alluding to this could just be, that feels a little weird to me because you introduced Karrion Kross back into WWE 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. And then all of a sudden he hasn't done much and you're just going to twist his character and go, now you guys got to relearn this and refigure this. I don't think, unless it's part of something bigger, I don't think that's what we're looking at here. Mm-hmm. And then there's the obvious one, the obvious theory that everybody's talking about, which is it's Bray Wyatt. And there's a lot of weird things to support this at this point, right? So Kyle Scarborough, the person who came up with the original Fiend design.
Yeah.
He helped Bray Wyatt. They worked together. He released a concept of a mask on Twitter or Instagram, that rabbit. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a scary rabbit mask. I think I showed you.
Yes.
So he released that. And everybody jumped to conclusion that's Bray Wyatt. He works with Bray Wyatt. Well, he's come out and said, I also work with Karrion Kross. Here we go.
Oh,
These motherfuckers are all in on this, Lauren. This is the problem. They're all playing with us. They're doing this on purpose. I did see a theory from a user named Gentleman's Bastard on Twitter. He did all this research and he looked up the Wyndham 6 Twitter account, which is Bray Wyatt's Twitter account. And he looked back and there was a post on July 4th where where Bray Wyatt says, anyone know anything about Self, Arkansas? If you are local and can navigate to it, the Devil's Hole, please let me know. So he did research on Self, Arkansas. It's not even a real town. It's an unincorporated community, which means it doesn't belong to a specific town, and it's not it's not its own place. When he looked it up, the Devil's Hole in Self, Arkansas, it got linked to a forum from 2004. Mm-hmm. This is how far back this is going. Okay. And in this forum, there's a bunch of crazy stuff from a user named The White Rabbit. Just posting things in this forum. Oh, this is a fucking scavenger hunt at this point.
Yeah.
Like, this is so fucking deep. I just like, people don't understand that. I don't think we're finding this out for a while. I think this is a long tease. I agree. They've got us locked in and wrapped around the finger. There was also someone from TikTok named Blazer Beck who had a theory that the White Rabbit is just one of the characters from the Funhouse. Okay. Remember the Funhouse? Yeah. There was Rambling Rabbit. There was a witch. And that maybe the rabbit is Karrion Kross as part of the Wyndham 6. And the witch is Scarlet.
Oh.
So he's equating actual people to characters in the Funhouse.
That could be.
That was very interesting as well.
I like that.
I think he had, like he said, Rambling Rabbit was Karrion Kross. Abby the Witch was Scarlet. And then he went as far as saying Mercy the Buzzard is Dexter Loomis.
Oh, shit. I love Dexter Loomis. I mean, all valid theories.
The rumor has been since the very beginning that Dexter Loomis is part of something bigger than what is appearing in front of us. I don't think it's this. I think that, just getting sidetracked a little bit, I think Tommaso Ciampa, I think he's got something in the works with Dexter Loomis and they're somehow going after The Miz. I think that's kind of a side story. I don't think that's part of this. I do think, so we'll get into a little bit of what I think. I do think there's a Wyatt 6. I think that, or a Wyndham 6.
I hope so.
I think there's 6 people that are going to be involved in this. I do believe Karrion Kross is going to be one of those. It makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I do think Alexa Bliss is part of this. I think she could be the White Rabbit. And I think this has a little bit of an Alice in Wonderland twist that we're not seeing. I also think Natalya could be a part of this, the Queen of Hearts.
Oh, true.
So I think there's going to be 6 people that come together and you start looking at who needs, well, Natalya could use a refresh. She could do that. Alexa definitely needs a refresh. And they're alluding to that. And the lights went off during her match. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't notice
During her match, the lights just went off and came back on with no explanation. Nobody acknowledged it. It happened.
Yeah.
Which feels, I think she could be the White Rabbit. And it could be essentially her coming and Bray Wyatt is following the rabbit, right? He could be, in a twisted way, he could be Alice.
True.
And she could be the rabbit, or he could be the Mad Hatter. There's so many cool ways to incorporate that into a wrestling faction. This Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, and the whole thing, I don't know why,
world.
the whole, what is it called? Time clock, the sand thing that they turn over. I forgot what that's called.
I don't know, but
whatever. That's reminding me of Alice in Wonderland and all that stuff too.
Right.
And then the White Rabbit was always worried about, I'm late for a very important date. The 9/23.
Boy, we figured it out. I do think it is. I really do. That was the first thing that came to me when I heard White Rabbit was Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
And I think with Bray Wyatt's twisted mind, he can place those. I don't think it's the Funhouse. Bray Wyatt to me doesn't seem like the type who wants to go back and recycle that. No. I think he's done. That got fucked. And he's like, fuck that. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't think he wants to be the Fiend. I don't think he wants to be Bray Wyatt. I think he wants to come in as a new character, just a new incarnation of Bray Wyatt, but a new version of himself. I think that's what he wants to do. And I really do think it's an Alice in Wonderland gimmick. And you hit it on the head. I'm late for the important date. This is the date.
Yeah.
9:23 at 9:23. Yeah. What do we get? We're getting a tease tonight. There's no reveal happening tonight, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, what would be interesting is like at 9:23 on 9:23, if just Alexa Bliss just walks by in the background or something like that. That's the clue.
I mean, when we tune in tonight, we're gonna have to find.
Oh yeah, we are. I mean, and that's what's gonna happen is we're gonna what was this time? You know?
Yeah.
It'll be exciting. It's interesting. Like I said, I don't think we get a reveal. We're not going to find out who this is. This is long term. I think it's longer than Extreme Rules. I think we continue just being teased for a while because as long as this is successful and it has people watching Raw and SmackDown and going, where, what, do this, that, everything's a fucking clue is the problem.
Well, and we don't know if there's clues on NXT.
But this is my problem, right? You 100%. Everything's a fucking clue now. You're going to have people going on these wild tangents that say, so-and-so sniffed his nose the wrong way. That's a clue. Well, Karrion Kross winked at the camera. Scarlett did something that feels like it's part of Bray Wyatt.
Well, we watched NXT because everybody from WWE was going over there, and so we just
wanted to check out. For the anniversary one we watched, then we watched the following one. We've been trying to keep up with NXT. It's hard. It's not as interesting to me. But Triple H is starting to
that we don't know about.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. It's exciting. This makes wrestling so much fun. You said it yesterday. I'm looking forward to Friday.
Yeah.
I want to know what's happening. I want the next clue. I want to see what the internet does with this.
Anticipation.
In other news, let's talk about it. It almost feels overshadowed at this point, but I really enjoyed it. Was the Roman Reigns and Logan Paul press conference?
Yeah.
I've been calling for this for a long, long time. I loved it. I thought everything about it was perfect. I think it was a huge step up from the Clash at the Castle post press conference. I still think, with the amount of budget WWE has, they can't make this thing just feel a little bigger. Just a little bigger.
Or the fact that when they came out, they like almost toppled over the backdrops,
That's what I'm saying. Like you can't just like a little more room. And I know they're using like spaces in Las Vegas and stuff like that. It doesn't
matter. You can get substantial stands and stuff that and better.
Why, like in Connecticut where you have your office building, why wouldn't you build a studio for this type of thing? Or in the Apex, the Performance Center.
Yeah.
Build a press conference studio that looks legit with video walls and things like that, where it like big fight feel. Because while it gave a big fight feel, it also felt like still looks like pretend fighting press conference.
Yes.
But they're on the right track. I like what they're going, and I want this for every big fight. Every big fight from now on in WWE should have a press conference. It gives these guys the ability to cut promos in a different light. Roman Reigns killed it. He looked comfortable on a podium microphone talking shit directly to his opponent in kind of a protected space.
Yes.
I love everything about that. This has to become a regular thing for large events. It doesn't need to. I don't think we need it. Fight. Yeah, we don't need for Extreme Rules. We don't need one. But there's 4 or 5 now big events because now Clash at the Castle or Clash at whatever is going to be pretty big.
Yeah.
Rumble is big. Survivor Series is big. Crown Jewel is big. WrestleMania is big. SummerSlam is big. For those 6, give us a press conference.
Yeah. I mean, it gives you another thing to look forward to.
Another thing to talk about. It's just more wrestling. The more Triple H can get people talking about wrestling when wrestling's not on, that's how you win this battle. All right, so let's talk about this week's On a Scale of 1 to 10. So I have heard from multiple credible sources that at this year's Survivor Series, we are going to be getting multiple War Games matches. I want to know from everybody listening to this show, post in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited is everybody that for the first time in WWE history, we will get a main event in Survivor Series that features a War Games match. War Games is something, admittingly, it's a gap in my wrestling watching lifetime. I've said I was never a big WCW guy, and that's where this originated, was like with Jim Crockett Promotions, which eventually became WCW. This was their thing, War Games. And then I've never been a big NXT guy NXT has kind of adopted the War Games. But now Triple H is he's going to bring this to the mainstream of WWE. And what this is, for anybody who doesn't know, because if you're like me, it's 2 rings. They put 2 rings. They surround them by 1 cage. It's a cage match, 2 rings, right? The match starts with 2 teams of either 4 or 5. One person from each side gets in the cage and they start fighting. Then there's a clock that counts down, kind of like the Royal Rumble. And when that ends, one person from one team gets to come in and create a 2-on-1 advantage, and they fight, and the clock goes down again, then it's 2-on-2, and it continues to create an advantage until everybody's in the ring. Once everybody's in the ring, the match officially starts. So the match does not start until everybody's in the ring.
Yeah.
They ring the bell, now somebody can win. So up until that point, it's just a fucking fight. People just fight.
Just chaos.
And in the WWE rules that I looked up, you can win by pinfall, submission, or escaping the cage. All of those are fine. I think back in WCW, it might have had a roof on the cage, so you couldn't escape. You were just locked in there. But I'm excited for this because, once again, I like gimmick matches, especially for pay-per-views. I think that's what pay-per-views and premium live events are designed for, are these matches that we don't see every week on Monday Night Raw. Here's a Hell in a Cell. Here's a cage. Here's a Royal Rumble. I don't like when you do those things on Mondays and Fridays. I love when they're part of a premium live event. I Quit match, Last Man Standing. Those are great premium. You feel like you're getting what you pay for. You're not paying for it unless you have Peacock, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
So just for fun, possible ideas here for Survivor Series. If Triple H is listening right now,
let's go.
I'm going to throw out some ideas. I think it's safe to say, I think we know as a collective audience, Casual and IWC, one side of this thing is going to be Team Bianca versus Team Bayley. Yeah. I think there's why you've already got this in play. It's you've been setting this up for a long time. So I'm guessing Bianca, Asuka, Alexa, Raquel, Aaliyah versus like Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Toxic Attraction possibly. Until I have confirmation on Sasha and Naomi showing up, which I still think they are. I still think they're going to be a part of Survivor Series. I think Survivor Series is set to be a huge fucking event. I think that's when we could get Bray. Not Survivor Series. Survivor Series for that, but Crown Jewel. I think we get Bray at Crown Jewel.
Yes.
I think Sasha and Naomi is possibly for Survivor Series. Man, this is shaping up to be a nice little run with Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Crown Jewel and Survivor Series. That's a nice little run right there of events. Is it?
And they're not that far apart from each other.
No,
so
this is kind of like a ba-da-ba-da-ba-da type thing here. But let's go back. Team Bianca, Team Bayley. The men's is a little more of a crapshoot. The men's, there's a lot of things you could do here. You could go simple and go Team Bloodline. Get them involved in something because you have enough guys in Team Bloodline to do it without Roman Reigns. You don't need to put him in that position. You have Sammy, Jay, Jimmy, and Solo.
You talked about that the other day.
There's you can do something with Team Judgment Day, right? Judgment Day, you could do Rhea. You could put Rhea in the match, which would be fun. And to me, Rhea's a little lost right now. Mm-hmm. Her character's great. She's doing great, but there's nobody in her league right now. She's fighting with the guys, but they're tentative to actually put her in the ring. Now, she got physical this last week.
Yes.
And who did she suplexed somebody? Riddle, I think. Mm-hmm. Some I don't know the names of the moves. Fuck it. But so you could go like Rhea, Dom, Damian, and Finn versus Rey Mysterio, Edge. You could throw Beth Phoenix in there to give Rhea Ripley somebody to compete with. And then you just need one more name there, whatever.
Will it be AJ Styles?
Could be. That actually makes sense. AJ Styles would make sense there. I like that. And I actually was trying to think of who it could be. 100% makes sense. Yeah. Good call. Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes could be fun because right now the Brawling Brutes are the number one contenders for the tag team titles. So you could extend that out, right? You could go Sammy J, Jimmy Solo versus Sheamus, Butch, Ridge. Insert one more person there. Anybody?
Madcap Moss.
True. I mean, I don't know if he's really. I think the Brawling Brutes could add one more person and be fine. There's somebody either NXT or that's on the roster right now that could fit that group. I mean, it could even be Drew McIntyre if you really want to be.
Yeah, I think Drew would actually be better.
Because there's no doubt that Sheamus and those guys have turned face. The crowd loves them, and if they're going to be going up against the Usos, they have to be the baby faces because the Usos are the heels.
That's true.
So and look, the people are fucking just loving Sheamus right now.
They are. You mentioned that. I thought that was crazy because there was a point where Cesaro and Sheamus were fighting each other like over and over and over. And I told you like, oh my God, I'm so tired of over them. Like I hate Sheamus and I hate Cesaro now. I'm sick of it.
And then the other one that I think is kind of low hanging fruit, but you could do Imperium versus the Brawling Brutes in a War Games match would just be hellacious. Sheamus and Gunther back into another ring together. And I mean, you could do 3-on-3 if you wanted to. They each could add one person and go 4-on-4. Yeah. That would be fun. I think so. I don't know.
It'll be my first War Games match, so I'm excited to see it.
Right? I went back and watched NXT with the...
I saw the Adam Cole.
That's the one I watched.
And then I saw like how it started with...
Where Kevin Owens came out.
Yes, I saw with Dusty Rhodes, him telling about how he... Not Dusty, but yeah, Dusty, right? Dusty
I didn't go back that far.
Dusty Rhodes. Yeah, he talked about how he started and everything, and he told the guy, like, you're going to make this.
I didn't go back that far. I just watched the actual match, and I thought... It's fun. It's different. It's not. It's like a clusterfuck mashup of like Royal Rumble, cage match, Hell in a Cell. It's like all the fun matches just like fucking crammed into a box.
Yeah, but I'm just excited for something different.
I agree. So. I'm in on that. Everybody else, whoever's listening, let me know who you think will be in the War Games match because those are my suggestions. But I'm sure I've left out some good possibilities.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the rumor mill this week. So.
All right.
A couple rumors that have been floating around is new belt designs. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. The belts that I wanted protected and the belts that I thought were okay to change. There's a new WWE belt floating around. Don't know if it's real. Don't know if it's fake, but we're going to talk about it. It is the black design of the belt. It's this one right here. This belt.
Uh-huh.
But this back leather is gold.
I mean, when you showed it to me at first, I know that I don't know like every detail about the belts, but I couldn't tell the difference.
Me either. So I'm not going to judge you on that. When I first saw the picture, sorry, I cut you off, but that's what I do.
Yeah.
When I first saw the picture, I just was like,
you showed it to me.
What is different about this belt? Like it never clicked. And then finally I go, oh shit, the back is gold.
I didn't know until you told me.
Is this a unified belt? I don't like, what is this belt? Are we just changing the WWE title? Is this a universal title? What are we doing? Is this even real? Is this just something someone made custom for fun?
I don't know.
To me, this one is the one that baffles me a little bit because I don't know what, for all intents and purposes, I don't know what that design is for.
Yeah.
Someone suggested, and I love this idea, but this is where like the nerds of wrestling kind of come in and fuck things up, is keep that belt unified. That's fine. Turn it into this black and gold belt, give it to, and then let's get a new belt with new lineage. The nerds of wrestling have a problem because they want to keep hundreds of years of lineage attached to a belt. Who fucking cares, right?
Yeah, I mean,
new belts are fun. New belts are great for marketing. New belts are great for selling. New belts get people excited. Or bring back the world heavyweight title, and you can somehow finagle the fucking lineage of the other one back to it.
Yeah, because I was going to say, if this was the new belt, just adding the gold, in my opinion, if you're going to make a new belt, it needs to look completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I am with, because you like, I just bought that belt at WrestleMania and then it becomes obsolete. It's kind of like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, it's not different enough that I want to run out and buy a new one. Yeah. But it also kind of makes what I have obsolete.
Yeah.
I want the big fucking world heavyweight title back. That's the one that looks the most fucking prestigious. The other new design we got was a new tag team belt. Was essentially the same shape as the one we have now, but with the WWE logo in the middle. I love it. I think it starts tying these belts together a little bit better. The big W in the middle is what signifies kind of WWE at this point. I think going to the black strap would make it look better.
Yeah.
I don't like the red and blue feel cheap to me. Yeah.
You know?
And so it looks, I mean, I'm guessing we're keeping the tag team belts unified, which I'm okay with at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to have a tag team champion on each show.
No.
They've done a good job of letting tag teams travel back and forth for number one contenders matches and things like that. So if those belts stay unified, it's a good design. I'm okay. If these are the two big changes that we've been talking about, I'm 100% on board. Like adding the gold to the back, I guess it's not a significant change. I don't even know why it really needs to happen. I think it just, you take the red belt, the blue belt, and you take the black belt and you mash them together and you get a black belt with gold somehow, which is fine. Okay. Second rumor of the week that I read is, as far as WWE is concerned and Triple H, Ezekiel is dead. He's gone. He's no longer on the WWE roster, and Elias is set to return as soon as he can grow his beard back. I'm all okay with this because I don't think we ever got enough of Elias to begin with. That character is super interesting. The guitar, the concerts, he was over with the crowd. I didn't understand the need to kill him, or not to, but to do away with the character and bring in Ezekiel, who was kind of an uninteresting creative character. He was just a guy. And I do think it's unfortunate that we didn't get to finish off that story. I think there was a little more juice in that lemon with Kevin Owens. But the fact is, Kevin Owens made that thing definitely 100%. He birthed and raised that to be something. And I said it from the beginning. Once Kevin was uninterested and gone, that made no sense anymore. There was nothing to do with it. So this is the right thing to do. Get him off television. Let him grow the beard back. Let him show back up. We can do the whole thing all over again. You're not Elias. You're Ezekiel, right? We'll get the moments like that out of it, and then he'll be able to come back and be a credible, interesting character. Yeah, so I'm all good with that. Last rumor, and this was a fucking out of left field to me, but there's been a couple reports that Big E and Randy Orton are going to be returning at the 2023 Royal Rumble.
Oh shit, that'd be crazy.
I thought Big E was done.
Me too.
I literally thought that like they were going to find a coaching spot or something, but apparently there's a possibility that he's healed up. He's on the right path, and I don't think he returns for Royal Rumble, but just hearing news that like
he could be there,
that there's optimism that he's going to wrestle again, fucking excites me. The New Day could be back at full force at some point. All of this is great fucking news. The idea that Randy Orton returns around the Royal Rumble, great fucking news. What this says is like, come January of 2023, the WWE roster could be so fucking strong if we get Cody Rhodes back, if we get Randy Orton, if we get Big E, if we get Becky Lynch. If all of this firepower comes together around January going into WrestleMania season, oh boy, buckle your fucking seatbelt.
Yeah, because if I thought wrestling has been interesting now, after you add the A-team on there.
I talk about all the time with Tony Khan having his toys. If fucking Triple H opens his toy box and the complete set is sitting there.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. I don't know what you do. At that point, you have too many big fucking guns to fire off. WrestleMania could be insane.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the casual curve for this week. I'm just going to grade the shows overall. I think that segment last week ran way too fucking long of grading every match.
Just a little bit.
This is what's good. This is what's bad. Nobody gives a shit. Let's talk about it, and let's talk about what we enjoyed this week in wrestling. So SmackDown overall last week, graded it a B. Averaged out all my scores. It was a B.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, that's... I don't have my scale right here, but I've labeled my scale as like a B, B plus, A. A B was like good. Yeah. It's a good show. Raw this week was a B plus. I think Raw was the better show this week for the first time in a long time. Just thought there was a lot of interesting things going on. What I enjoyed the most this week from pro wrestling, I thought Logan Paul's appearance with on SmackDown, kind of leading into the press conference. Man, when you get Logan Paul, who was firing on all cylinders, he looks like he belongs. When he can step in the ring and he can talk with Paul Heyman and Sami Zayn in the Bloodline and not miss a beat, this dude, this is like, for all intents and purposes, his fourth time in the fucking ring.
Yeah.
Cutting promos like this.
Awesome.
And he doesn't miss a beat. He's perfect. And I said, we're not going to see him again. He's fucking rode off in the sunset and doing boxing. No, he's not. Logan's just going to fucking do everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just that guy. He's just going to fucking float in and float out and do a little bit of everything. And I'm all about it. I see people shitting all over this match at Crown Jewel. What do you want? Goldberg again?
No.
This is the guy. This is beautiful. He can come in. He can get beat. It doesn't hurt him. Roman gets a big publicity pop out of this because with these fucking press conferences and Logan going on his podcast, this is putting Roman in the fucking center of like of media, of like social networking and stuff. So this is a big deal. But like I said, man, Heyman's back. That's fucking great. Sammy, I said this. I thought Sammy and KO were on this path headed. I don't think so. I think the crowd has fucking fell in love with Sammy ever since the Canada show. And every time he gets in the ring, they just fucking explode. I think WWE's like, he's a member of the Usos now. Like and I do think eventually Sammy leads to the demise, but I don't think Kevin has time to wait around for that. So I think it looks like Kevin and Gargano may be doing a thing,
their own thing,
going the other way. And Sammy's just kind of solidified himself as a big deal on SmackDown, as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. The Brawling Brutes won the fatal four-way tag team elimination, whatever, for the number one contendership. Cool. Yeah. We were sitting there trying to call it. Who's it going to be? I thought that the Imperium and Brawling Brutes were going to continue. Mm-hmm. Looks like we're going to split them apart, and the Brawling Brutes are set to go one-on-one with go 2-on-2 with the Usos. A little bit of a death sentence, I still think. I don't think they're ready to break the bloodline up. So until then, whenever somebody gets to challenge for these belts, you're just challenging to lose.
Yeah.
We got Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley to open Monday Night Raw. Good match, solid match, nothing wrong there. Good opening to Monday Night Raw. Question, is Seth Rollins a face now? I mean, there's a weird, like, the crowd has fell back in love with him. He's got everybody singing, and I think it creates an interesting dynamic for him and Riddle, and it's kind of a cool opportunity if they wanted to do a flip and let Riddle take a little run as a heel.
Yeah.
I think this is the time, because I think Riddle could work as a heel.
I do too. Like, when you see him get mad, he's like a totally different person.
And he has the skill set to appear dangerous, right? If he kind of goes more MMA, and just like, fuck all this and fuck being the happy guy. I'm tired of like the same song and dance. I'm gonna come out here and just start whipping ass. He could be a little bit of a like a guy who straddles the heel face line.
Yeah.
And Seth, once again, it's like he can just morph in and out.
Yeah.
He just his character work.
He's a genius.
Yeah, he's just able to kind of, I go this way with the crowd, I go this way with the crowd. He's just good at what he does. Kevin Owens and Theory continues. Looks like I questioned last week if this was going to be about Kevin Owens or Gargano. It looks like they're going to be best friends.
Yeah.
They were on the bump together. They were hilarious. They've now kind of begun to help each other out on Monday Night Raw. I'm all about that. That's fun. So cool. This seems fun. Theory's a good bad guy for this. The Alpha Academy's part of this. It should work out. I'm sure next week we got Alpha Academy versus Gargano and Owens. Theory will get involved. Cool. Like, this is good storytelling.
Another interesting story.
Yeah, it's another segment. Doesn't have any titles, but once again, I'm invested. And I've said this. It's hard to get me invested without titles. But Triple H is doing a good job of keeping me invested on Monday Night Raw without a bunch of belts on the show. He's doing what I said was almost impossible. Now, what I didn't like, about Monday Night Raw. Dominic Mysterio's still a bitch. He's still a bitch. And you know what? I'm doubling down now. I tried to lay off of Dominic, but what the fuck is this character we're doing here? Really?
Well, I honestly don't think it's a character. This is who he is in real life.
I'm not going that far. I'm not talking about this man.
I'm going to go that far. I think that he is a little mommy daddy boy and that it is not a big deal for him to just be like, yes, mommy, whatever you say, Poppy, I'm mad at you. Like, it's like a little kid throwing a fit.
I'm not going that far.
And he didn't have personality.
I'm not talking about this man.
I'm going to say it, and I might get in trouble. People might not like it, but I'm sorry.
I'll talk about Dominic as far as wrestling goes. He's still a little bitch. And what is his character? Is he's an emasculated man? Yes. Is that what it is? Like, that's his character? Is like Rhea Ripley is his dominatrix and he's a little bitch? And how does that make the Judgment Day stronger?
Well, because they can show dominance over somebody, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. It's like, he's like a puppy.
Yeah.
And so then I saw on social media, because Dominic referred to her as mommy.
Yes.
And so she wrote on social media, Poppy or mommy, Dom, you choose. I'll be whichever you want. And he writes back, mommy. Like,
weird.
Like, I would write back, go fuck yourself. Yes. That's what I want. Like, I'm not doing this.
That's what I'm saying. He's like a little subservient little boy girl.
How does Dom come out of this? Like, y'all talk about character building and just wait. This is being ingrained into the fans' heads.
Yeah.
How do you come out stronger on the other end of this?
You can't.
I mean, he's just, so he went from Ray's little baby boy to, we all thought he was going to graduate and be this monster in Judgment Day, and he graduated to emasculated little bitch. That's what Dom is. Like, and cool. It's, honestly, it works for Rhea Ripley, and it works for Dominic Mysterio. But where do you fucking go from there? Like, that's the character you're going to be? All right, put your 100 into it, Dom.
Yeah.
Then we got the main event from Monday Night Raw was Alexa versus Bayley. Alexa Bliss is the most underused superstar in WWE right now. They don't know what to do with her. I hope there's a bigger plan. I hope she's the White Rabbit or in some way a part of whatever this big conspiracy thing is. But like, I think that match fell just a little bit short for me.
I told you that. We watched it separately.
I thought it was a good match. I just don't know that was the one I end the night with. I think that you could flip the show around and put Bobby and Seth last and have a complete show. Whereas I think that match, good match, solid match, it's moving their stories all forward. I just don't know if it was the main event.
Yeah. I watched it on Hulu, and so I told you I missed it like 3 times the ending because it kept on fast forwarding. Because I was looking for something afterwards. Like, okay, this is over. Now what's next? What did I miss?
I got you. Bayley, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. Bayley is, her character work, and I said it a couple weeks ago, and people got pissed. And I guess I just didn't know how to articulate it well. Her character work is phenomenal. I don't know that she's just an average wrestler, but her character work is good. The ding dong and the fucking, like, reaching out for high fives and giving, she knows how to be a heel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I can say about Bayley there. All right, let's talk about our mandatory AEW segment this week. Grand Slam was on Wednesday, and we watched it. From start to finish, Grand Slam, this is me. This is the guy who shits on AEW. Most entertaining AEW event I've watched since I've watched AEW.
Okay.
From start to finish, more balanced. And balanced, I mean, it felt like it was touching the IWC, but it was also kind of being a little forgiving to the casual fans and going, this is a little more for you guys. And I don't know if that was cognizant or if Tony, sometimes it feels like Tony just throws things at the wall and see what sticks. But the overall reviews that I've seen are positive. But here's the problem. This is the problem. And this is going to point to everything I've been fucking saying. This was literally an ex-WWE talent show.
Yep.
That's all that was. Grand Slam was an ex-WWE talent show. So the question remains that I've been talking about. AEW is better suited shutting the fuck up and just using all the ex-WWE guys they have and featuring them heavily on shows week to week. Let's go match to match. Opening match of the night is Claudio versus Jericho. 2 ex-WWE guys.
Yep.
Okay? I get it. Jericho is still kind of a founder of AEW. That's fine. Take him out. But Claudio's a WWE guy. That's what he is. But let's just side question here. Does everybody want to fucking apologize to me now about Claudio? Because y'all all wanted to attack me. What, 3 months as Ring of Honor champion and he defended it 1 fucking time, 2 times? That's it? Now he's done? He's not the champion anymore? I thought y'all told me he was going to make that belt mean something. Y'all told me about the prestige of the Ring of Honor championship and that they gave it to Claudio so he could make it mean something. No, what they did is they put it on him, looked around and go, hey, nobody's responding.
Yeah.
Nobody's interested. Let's put the belt on somebody who can actually do something with it. Mm-hmm. People pay attention to what Jericho does. Jericho will make that belt mean something. And maybe Claudio wins it back, but he's not winning it back until Jericho makes it mean something.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's, once again, that is the ceiling for Cesaro / Claudio. The ceiling is can't get it done long term. Just can't. You tried. You gave him a world title. Bullshit. It's a mid-card title. It doesn't even have its own fucking show anymore. It's just a belt that fucking Tony Khan bought.
Yeah.
Like you go buy a company, you got a belt, you got to give it to somebody. He gave it to Claudio, and Claudio couldn't fucking do anything with it. Couldn't make it mean anything. So they gave it to Jericho. Second match of the night was Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus The Acclaimed. Keith Lee, Swerve Strickland, WWE people, Triple H's boys, right? Awesome. The Acclaimed are homegrown. They won the titles. Shout out to them. It was a good fucking match. It went down exactly the way it should have. But once again, WWE, 2 matches featuring WWE talent. Okay? Pac versus Orange Cassidy. Pac, ex-WWE guy. Here we go again. And I know the argument's going to be made. They're not, just because you were in WWE. No, they are. They're WWE guys. These are not homegrown AEW talent. These are guys that I recognize. I am the litmus test. Casual wrestling fan. I see Pac. I see Neville. You said it.
Yeah.
You go, oh my God, that's the guy from WWE.
Yes.
That with that recognition.
I always called him Mighty Mouse for some reason.
Yeah, because I think that there was always the rumor going around that Vince wanted to make him a Mighty Mouse style character.
It's because of his ears.
Oh God, damn! You're on fire
I know.
Another good match though with him and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy is a homegrown AEW talent, somebody that gets shit on by the AEW fans all the time, but he's fucking got that character work, man. He got it. Tony Storm, Serena Deeb, Britt Baker, Athena. Tony Storm, kind of a WWE person, but Athena, a WWE person. It was a solid match. Once again, another good match from AEW that I enjoyed. What do we get at the end? Paige, Saraya, WWE person. And that's a big deal. It is a big deal that Paige is in AEW, and that'll be great for the AEW women's division. Yeah. Like I've said, I don't want them to fail. I don't want AEW to fail. I want it to succeed. And I think this is a great place for Paige to fit in. She can thrive. She can build herself up. I don't know what her capabilities are. Nobody knows right now. She's been gone for a hot minute. We don't know what she's capable of.
Yeah.
I will say, just off eye test, she didn't look real comfortable in the spotlight. She's going through a lot of shit in her life.
Yeah. She looks physically different. And I'm not just saying like shape-wise, but like, I don't know how to say this. Like, I feel like your mental well-being sometimes can deal with your physical appearance.
100%.
And tired is what I can say.
So I don't know if I saw tired. I saw scared.
I mean, I think
scared of a crowd, scared to be in front. And so I think it's going to take a couple weeks for her to get comfortable again. But I'm excited for that.
I love Paige.
But there you go. WWE. Then what's the main event? Moxley, Bryan Danielson. Those are WWE guys. Like, you could spin it whatever you want. But every person on this show has a lineage that runs right through Vince McMahon's asshole. I mean, that's what it is.
Yes, I mean, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Where are the fucking pillars of AEW? Where was Darby Allin? Where was Jungle Boy? Where was Sammy Guevara? None of them were there.
Yeah.
You did a show that I thought was fucking good. I enjoyed Grand Slam. But it looked like just another WWE show to me.
Yeah.
Last little AEW tidbit. I read a rumor that Jeff Hardy is fucking returning soon. Like, Tony Khan, like, please. This guy doesn't need wrestling. Wrestling is obviously a trigger and a cancer to this guy. And every time he's unhappy, he resorts to negative. It may be time for people around him to just tell him, no more. You just got to be healthy, happy. And like, you can pretend all you want that wrestling makes you happy. But obviously, when he was in WWE, he's not on drugs. He's not fucked up. There's nothing wrong with him. You guys are just assholes and you're jumping to conclusions. He did all this erratic shit. He left. He's going to be so much happier in AEW. Then all this shit comes out in AEW. Same shit, same story. Sometimes just environments aren't good for people. And I just think that like Tony Khan, Triple H, these guys need to look at him and go,
no, man,
not anymore. And his family, Matt, all those people, they need to reach out to him and go, not anymore. Like, it may be time for you, or even he just needs like maybe an extended break, right?
But what happens when like he's on drugs or something like that,
and he hurts
somebody else gets hurt? Exactly,
100%.
So it's not just about him; it's about the
it's got to be a liability
him.
At that point, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he's done it multiple times where like he's on drugs.
I agree.
You know,
I agree. I mean, I just whatever. I guess to each their own. In AEW, if Tony Khan wants to keep fucking doing this, he can do it. Let's get into a little bit of this or that. On this week's This or That, I think that I was having kind of an internal debate because as our videos grow, we're getting more audience, which entails more of the IWC kind of flooding into the comment section and spitting the same IWC shit over and over, just answering the videos with like not understanding that this show comes from a casual point of view. And they're spitting the same regurgitated IWC shit that they hear all these IWC fucking content creators talk about. So it got me thinking, like, what is the big divide between the IWC and casual fans? And to me, I think it's this idea of, and we've done this before, but I like to tweak it and try to figure out what makes people tick. And I think it's the makeup of a professional wrestler. Why casual people tend to gravitate to certain people and IWC to others. And so I wanted to break it down into a simple form using just two attributes. Because I think at the core of wrestling, wrestlers have two attributes. They have actual wrestling skill and they have character. And character's personality, marketability, all those things. Wrestling abilities, ability to flip, ability to hit, make it look real, sell, all that stuff. So you have those two. Those are the two things. If you zoom all the way out, that's what a wrestler, like if you wanted to create the simplest create a character in a wrestling video game, you would go, do you want your character to have character or do you want your character to have personality?
Yeah.
So I wanted to do this and kind of think of this in a way of like elementary school. When you used to go to elementary school and they give you Skittles and they go, here's 10 Skittles. Divvy up these Skittles into different personality traits. Mm-hmm. So if I gave you 10 Skittles for wrestlers, where would wrestlers fall in that list? And I know it's a weird unfair because maybe they could fall higher or lower, but let's just do it this way. Let's start with WWE, guys.
All right.
If I was doing Seth Rollins, and anybody in the comment section, if you think I'm wrong on my assessment, let me know how you would grade these same people. Because this is my crazy way of thinking going through this. Seth Rollins, I put six of my points in personality and character, and I think 4 in wrestling.
Yeah.
I think he's a very solid wrestler, but I think his character work is better than his wrestling.
I'd agree.
6 and 4.
Okay.
Kevin Owens, weird anomaly, but I think he's 5 and 5. Okay. And that's not a knock because that doesn't mean a lower number doesn't mean worse. It just means I think he's equally as good of a wrestler as he is a character.
I could see that.
Okay. Roman Reigns, 7 in character, 3 in wrestling.
Yeah.
But that's not a knock on. I think a 3 is standard wrestling to me. That's the amount of wrestling you need to know to be a professional wrestler that can get by.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair, 8 in personality, 2 in wrestling.
Okay.
I think she needs just a little bit. She's good. She just needs a little bit more in the wrestling to kind of balance the character.
Like to diversify her moves and stuff.
Charlotte Flair, 6 in personality, 4 in wrestling.
And her
could be 5 and 5.
I'd go 5 and 5. Her personality has grown, but it's not like outstanding.
But after watching her interview and understanding her mindset, some of the things that I thought were just weird, like personality flaws, are character decisions.
I'll have to go back and watch it then.
Wants to be disliked. She knows how to be disliked. She manipulates even smart fans to just dislike her based on her personality. That's why I think it was after watching that and kind of seeing in her mindset that she is highly intelligent in her character work that I thought, okay. Because, I mean, she is a 5 in wrestling, right? So 5 and 5, I'm completely fine.
She's a really good wrestler.
I'm fine with 5 and 5 if you want to go there.
Yeah.
Now you look at AEW guys.
Okay.
I think Moxley's 6 and 4. Okay. 6 personality, 4 in wrestling. I think that Bryan Danielson, here's where we start to flip the scale, IWC. And he's a 4 in personality and a 6 in wrestling.
Dude, you like read in my mind.
Right? It begins, the scale begins to tip a little bit. He has personality and he's able to do it, but he almost, there's times where I feel like he cringes at that part of wrestling.
Oh, I think so.
Then you got Jericho. I think Jericho is that prototypical 7 in personality, 3 in wrestling.
Yes.
Can wrestle as good as he needs to, but his personality is what drives his character.
Definitely.
Britt Baker, I think she's on the same scale as Bianca Belair. 8 in character, which is why people like me and you,
I love her.
When that character number starts to go up, people like me and you go, we love her. We are able to see past the 2 in wrestling.
Yeah.
The IWC can't see past that 2. That 2 bothers them. They need that to be a 4.
Yeah.
Or 5 or 6. That's what, but I'm saying, I'm trying to identify the
I agree with
difference in the way we see things. Right? MJF, I think he's that prototypical 7 in personality, 3 in wrestling ability. I don't think he's just he's a good, like, there's just a good enough wrestler is a 3.
Yes.
It's good enough to get by. Then, like, you look at legends. I think Cena, 7-3. I think The Rock, 7-3. Hulk Hogan, 7-3, 8-2.
I go 8-2.
I just don't know. Like, back then, that's what wrestling was.
Yeah.
So he might have been a 3 back then. If he wrestled now, he's a 2. Then you go to the indie darlings. Kenny Omega's like Kevin Owens. I think he's 5 and 5. He's equally as good on a microphone as he is in the ring. And I think that kind of creates sometimes a misunderstood from each side.
Yes.
The casuals don't adapt, or the same with Kevin Owens, right? Kevin Owens should be the biggest thing in pro wrestling. But when you're 5 and 5, people have a weird time attaching to that.
Yeah.
Claudio, 2 and 8.
Oh, yeah.
Flipped around.
Yep.
2 in personality, 8 in wrestling ability. Phenomenal fucking wrestler. I'll never argue that. But the 2 in personality, you can't get over that way. You can't. So you get all of that. You get all of that respect from the people who go, your flippy flips are good, but your personality sucks.
Vince McMahon said it. He goes, we just couldn't get the crowd to.
They just won't long-term react to him.
Yeah.
And then like AJ Styles, I think is kind of the same. He's like 4'6", 3'7", but it's more on the wrestling side than the personality.
I'd go 4'6".
4'6"?
He does have a little bit of a personality. He
does.
definitely has a character, and that's who he is. But
his character's not what drives people to like him.
Exactly.
You don't go.
You just know that's AJ Styles.
Yeah.
That's the way he
I don't
is.
look forward to an AJ Styles promo.
No.
I look forward to AJ Styles wrestling.
Yeah.
Which leads him to more that other side. So I think you see the difference when you look at these numbers. When you talk about these numbers from a casual point of view, it's when the higher that character number goes, the more the casual fans gravitate to the Bianca Belairs, the Britt Bakers, the Hulk Hogans, right? That's where the casual fans want to reside. Whereas when that number on the skill side with Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, Claudio, that's where the IWC gravitates. That feels grungy to them. That's a wrestler, right? And that's the difference. I don't think one's right or wrong. I just think that is the mental divide between the two people. It seems like to me though, now we're talking back to commercial success. 7-3 is that optimum space. I think where Jericho reigns. Who else did I have at 7-3? I had Cena, The Rock.
Yeah.
You just have to be able to wrestle enough. Typically the IWC, this is where they make the argument. The Rock couldn't wrestle.
Who cares?
Stone Cold couldn't wrestle. Right? Roman Reigns can't wrestle. They wrestle enough that the crowd gets behind them, right? All they have to be able to do is throw a punch that's believable, and kids and fans go, that works, right?
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre is a funny one. because I think he has flipped it. I think he's a 6 in personality and a 4 in wrestling to me. Possibly 7-3. Could be. But I think those are the guys that hit that. To me, the perfect balance from a commercial wrestler is 7 and 3. You see people like Bianca Belair and Britt Baker who could probably benefit from a small bump in wrestling skill. Yeah. Right? If they just if they just got a little bit more over on the wrestling side, I think they would their casual appeal and their internet wrestling community.
You just don't feel like it's just like them all the time on.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear. I want everybody to chime in the comments. Let me know where I was wrong. There's some wrestlers I left out, like Stone Cold, Ric Flair. Throw the grades in for those guys, and we'll play back and forth in the comments to see if I agree or disagree. Last but not least, let's talk about the Wrestling Fantasy League. The official score. You could change that overlay for me to the wrestling one now. After this is the third or second week, I believe, right? Or third week. Third week of our one-on-one league. I now have 475 points. You have 418 points. So I pulled away slightly.
Yes.
With my SmackDown heavy roster. Mm-hmm. As far as the community league goes, we have like 21 spots still available.
Okay.
For the league. Shooting to start this league first week of October. We'll draft first week of October. Still giving people time. If you want to be a part of this league, because a lot of people expressed interest, and then when it came time to go sign up, I only got back half the amount of names. And this is what I said. Everybody shows excitement, and then we got to see who really wants to do it by giving their screen name. So we're going to give a couple more weeks for people to get signed up. Give us your screen name in the comments. Go to dropthebelt.com. It is free. 100% free to sign up. And then you have to take that name that you sign up with and you drop it in the comments of this video and say, I want to be a part of the draft. I will add you to the league. There's still spots available. 21 spots still available for the leagues. Right now, the people who are solid locked in, 3VLG, Acasio 1592, Snuggles, Big A, D Cole 0987, Breezy 72, and B Master 84. Their spots are officially locked. That means there's 21 spots left to join in to this fantasy wrestling league, which has been a lot of fun.
The first annual CWC
it'll be season
Wrestling
1.
League.
We'll have some kind of prize, whatever it is.
We're gonna look back at this like years from now and be like, dude, that was the first one.
The first one, yeah. We'll continue doing it too, and like I said, so jump in. It'll be fun. It'll give us something to talk about in our wherever we decide to have a forum. If it's just in the comments, or if we open up a fantasy draft forum or whatever, but we'll do it somewhere. That's it for me, though. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about this week?
No, I'm having a brain fart right now, but I will think of it for next time.
So just once again, the show used to post Wednesday night, Thursday morning. That was when we used to post this show. It looks like we're going to be rolling into Thursday afternoons.
Yeah.
Was when this show will post up on YouTube. So if you're used to seeing it on Wednesdays, and I know this week we're 2 days late, but it's because we're trying to figure out when we can record this with our busy schedule.
Yes.
And so Thursday afternoons looks like it'll be the drop time. Gives us more time to give. We've had a few people go, let's talk about AEW. Let's not shit all over it.
Yeah.
I will talk about it. I gave big props to Grand Slam.
If Paige is in, I'm in.
I mean, lots. MJF is exciting to watch. There's lots to like about AEW if Tony Khan would stop fucking shooting himself in the foot every week.
Yes, sir.
This has been another episode of the CWC Wrestling Podcast. Make sure to tune in every week on either YouTube or Spotify, and please leave us a comment on this video. It helps. Also, make sure to follow us on TikTok if you do not already. Just search for the Notorious Nerdy D. As always, I am the Notorious Nerdy D. That is Level Up Lauren, and ring the final bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
You don't remember the button. Up.
Step in the ring, if you ready, let's go. Hey, casual wrestling community show. You already know. Talking WWE. Keep it rolling and hosted by Notorious Nerdy D. Don't be sure that you gon' find. Tune in, cause it's